How's it going, guys? I'm Mike,
And I'm Stephanie.
and we're Van Life Sheldon's Travels. Sheldon, if you don't know, he's our yellow belly slider turtle. He's actually hanging out in the bathtub, and I guess we'll explain where we're at and what we're doing here in a minute. But I want to say hi to a few people. Craig, Bubba Warbucks, I think Steven is on here too already. But let's go on and make, since Bubba Warbucks is a Patreon now, let's go on in there and add him as a moderator. Good deal, Bubba Warbucks, you're now a moderator. We usually like to make all of our Patreons moderators to make things easy, so if you see something on here that you don't think is appropriate in the chat, feel free to just jump on in and take care of that. You have power to do that now. Oh wow, thanks Bubba Warbucks, $20 super chat.
That's so kind of you.
I really
Thank you so much.
appreciate that. You're our latest Patreon, even though you've been a Patreon before, so we appreciate that. Teresa, hello from Chicago. Naturally, a commercial show before your video did, pretty much, right? Wondering Wild Woman, hello, how's it going? Well, guys, the harvest is over, so
Yay.
we are happy campers.
We finished both harvests, the one in Minnesota and the one here in Michigan.
So yeah, I mean, this harvest was really good. It lasted about the same amount of time as the Minnesota one did, about 2.5 weeks. So we were able to, so you have a room over sleeping in the van. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. When we left you guys in the last live stream, hey Patricia, Nancy, how's it going? We were debating on if we were gonna leave that campground and buy us or get us a hotel room for the stay.
Right.
And we worked that night, that Sunday night, and after work we decided on Monday we would get up and we would just call Express and tell them that if we had to spend $500 a week for a hotel room, that it really just didn't make sense for us to do this.
Yeah,
so,
they try to put anybody in a van or in a camper van that's built out into a campground, which that makes sense, and there are hookups and things like that. So this shower house was a little different. In Minnesota, there was sinks and bathrooms, and they were connected. And there you press the button for the shower, and it lasts like 2 or 3 minutes. You got hot water. Well, the one in the fairgrounds in Bad Axe, it was like you had to press the button constantly to get the water. And then the bathroom stalls, your area, were so small that you'd get water almost all over your shower room. And so it wasn't like an enjoyable experience to take a shower. There was no heaters in there, so it was cold. And then once you started your water, it kind of like went all the way to the door almost, so you almost had to put your shoes and your clothes on right there at the door, or else you'd make a muddy mess. So we were like, we don't want to do this for the 2 weeks we're here.
Or 3.
Right, and they say that if you want a room, you should just ask for a room. So that's what we did. We went ahead and we asked for a room. We told them, look, our van is built out for us to travel in and live in, but it's not built out for us to have an outdoor job. Like when we come in the van, and like there were a couple of days where it was rainy, so we're coming in wet and we're coming in mud, and we have no place to put our gear. And if we do like try to undress right there in the van and put it in, like we try to put it in a tub, you're still like, we're getting the toilet a mess, you're getting the cabinets, you're getting mud on the cabinets. So we were just like, we're gonna ruin everything in our van if we try to do this. So we told them, look, like our van is built out for traveling and living in, but it's not built out for like outdoor work camping and a place for muddy boots and things like that.
And we've learned that now. We want to share this as a positive experience,
and
because
things
if you're
that
if you're in a little bitty van, I want you to understand what you're getting into.
and things
so
you might not think of.
right.
Like when you're in the campground and you agree to go take a shower in the shower house, you're like, that's no big deal. But every day you're getting your shower house stuff together, your bathroom, your shower stuff together, and then you're walking to the shower house, you're taking a shower, and then you're packing all that stuff up and you're bringing it back. So you're getting dressed twice to go to the shower. Or here, we come in and we take off all of the muddy mess stuff, we put it in the bucket, we go into the shower, and then we go right to bed. Like, for us, that's so much simpler, and we save like an hour of time just having the room versus taking a shower in the shower house.
And they will, there is some fees that are associated with the room, but it was definitely not $500 a week.
No.
Which, so that, we decided that we really wanted to work, and they really wanted us to work. So I guess it kind of comes to, if you're in a little bitty van, you need to make sure you understand what you're getting into as far as the muddy gear and all the extra stuff. With one person, I think you would be fine. You would have maybe enough room, and
right.
you could
But with Mike and I,
right.
now it's instead of 2 winter jackets, which would in the winter
right.
gear, it's hard in the van anyways because everything's so
okay.
big. But we already have our 2 nice winter jackets. Now you have your 2 work winter jackets because you're working outside in the cold. So those are your bigger
overalls and all this. I even Steph purchased me a set of overalls. So having these and my ski pants and a whole bunch of other gear as far as cold weather gear when it's rainy and snowing outside and it's 20 degrees and you're out there for 12 to 14 hours, you need the right gear.
Right,
so,
and they said that this year was the best weather that they've seen in a long time. And mind you, we still had rainy days where it rained all day and it was muddy all day. We still had days where it was so windy that winds were so high that we actually stopped taking trucks because we were afraid when they lifted the bed that the trucks would blow over. So we actually stopped taking trucks when the winds got so high.
And before that, we would have, I would be the operator, and we would have the foreman and you yelling to be able to communicate and trying to keep those trucks safe. So, but yeah, there's just a lot of gear. And if you're in a camper, fifth wheel, or a truck camper, you'll probably be all right staying at the campground. But I want you to know, if you're going to do this experience, if you're 2 of you in a little bitty van like ours, 38 square feet, it is going to be a struggle. We did it for the 2.5 weeks in Minnesota during that harvest. And we were fine with it. Don't get me wrong, we were okay with it.
And at one point, Mike was saying, well, we'll just pay it out of the money we make. And I was like, well, when you think about it, that's almost unfair to you because now you're going and you're working the 12, 14 hours, whichever you choose. And then when you come home at the end of the harvest, you now made less money than everybody else because you're paying for your room and board.
So it's kind of a give and take, and that's kind of where we're at right now. Is we finished the harvest on Thursday. We were completely done, so they give you 48 hours, and so we took advantage of having the room here for 48 hours. So in theory, they got us a room. It's in a really nice place. They've taken really good care of us with Express. I can't say enough good things about the foreman and the people that we worked with at the Mead site. Both of the foreman leads were great, and everything. All of you guys that I've been working with are excellent, so I can't say anything. It was a great experience, and we decided, since we did make some money, guys, we worked about 75 hours a week each for 2.5 weeks. So that's a lot of hours. So we made a decent little bit of amount of money. It does pay $15.98, and the differences between Minnesota is in Minnesota, everything over 8 hours, your 4 hours is overtime. Everything on Saturday is time and a half. Everything on Sunday is double time. Here in Michigan Sugar, everything over 40 hours is time and a half.
Right.
And I think it all kind of works out at the end. If you end up working a Saturday and a Sunday and you work 12 to 12 hours a day, there were different shifts. People could work 9-hour shift, a 10-hour shift, or a 12-hour shift.
14 hours.
And even like a 14 hours, since we were doing some long shifts. But that's all voluntary, basically, to do the extra hours. And since we were here to work, any extra hours that they needed on day shift, we came in and worked.
Absolutely. We told our foreman, like, if you need somebody to grab extra hours, well, we came here to work, so we want to make all that we can. I do want to show you guys this. Here in the lobby, they have coffee, and the sugar packets are actually the Michigan Sugar, and that's technically the company we're working for, so I just found that to be cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Do you want to show them the mug they gave us too?
Yeah,
That's
and
kind
then
of cool.
at the end of season, everybody who finished the harvest got one of these cups, and so one of those thermos cups, got a nice twist lid in there, some hot chocolate from earlier.
Right. So the room here has 2 double beds and a hot shower, a small refrigerator, which we'll show you. But we are about a block and a half from Lake Huron.
Yeah,
there's a small grocery store next door.
They put us in the cutest little town. Before, they had us in a town, and it was kind of rough around the edges. This one, it was the cutest little town. We're so happy that we moved here. But I did want to say thank you so much, Stephen Bates.
Yes.
We are so happy to see you on here. We thought you were on here, and then we seen you comment. So
Thanks
we're
for the super chat.
Yes.
You and Bubba Warbucks, both of you guys are very generous. Both of you. Mary, also, I seen that you're on here. You are one of our Patreons, and I made you a moderator also. So if you check that out.
And then Bubba Warbucks asked a really great question. Is there laundry facilities for your muddy clothes? There is actually not a laundry facility at the hotel, but there is one at the end of, there's one like 2 streets over, and we have to do a video of it because this is the most eccentric laundromat you will ever see in your life. It closes at the last
load is at 3 o'clock.
The last load is at 3 o'clock, so we found it really hard to get over there when we were working.
It completely shuts down at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we couldn't do our laundry there.
So the whole time we had other of our coworkers telling us, "Oh, you should go check it out. It's really neat and interesting." So finally, at the end of the harvest, we had 2 weeks of dirty clothes, and we took it all over there.
Spent $25 doing all of our laundry.
And from the outside, it looks like a log cabin, and like a business log cabin. It kind of looks like a coffee shop. You see tables out front and espressos, signs and things like that. So it almost looks like a coffee shop. And then there's signs, and it's like if you want to do your laundry, go around the entrance around back. So you go around the entrance around back, and you are greeted by this huge
dog. Poodle dog.
Yeah, with big curly hair.
Cutest thing ever.
Yeah, it's friendly, but it's still unusual when you think like I'm just gonna go wash my clothes, and then you're greeted by a big dog, huge dog. And so then you come into what looks like a little cafe, and there's actually soda fountain machines, and he has little like scones and biscuits
and espresso, coffee,
and things for sale. And then I guess they have music because there was like a music stand. And then you go into like what looks like a laundry room, and then that's the laundromat, and there's just washer and dryers there and a table for you to fold your clothes.
It works.
So it works, but in the front you could almost tell that it was like somebody's house. And like you just didn't go up front, but it's very funny because then when you were coming out and we were going towards the car, we kind of seen that he had a bicycle with a freezer. So it's like, this guy is just like such an entrepreneur, and he's got all these different businesses coming out of his house. He's got
Pretty
the
much.
laundromat, he's got the cafe, he's got like live music going every night. So, and then you know, he's in the summer. You can imagine him on his little bike selling like, I don't know, ice cream or whatever. So it's just, I got a chuckle out of it, and it's just so cute. We have to do a video and show you guys
But
because
we didn't do our
it's so
laundry
nice.
the whole time we were working.
Yeah.
We did have one off day. It was too nasty, too rainy, too funky, and too
Right.
cold. It was down in the 20s and
Right.
almost snowing. So we did have one day off, but we didn't take it to do laundry. We slept all day pretty much.
Yeah.
Up to that point, we were working anywhere from 9 to 14 hours a day.
Right. And then like, so we, after the harvest, we took that first day to sleep, and then that second day, it's like, okay, now we've taken all of this stuff out of the van because we've been here for 2 weeks.
Right. It was
And the
getting
thing
washed
is,
and
you can't just put it back in the van. You have to put it back in its spot in the van. So that takes a little bit more time. So we definitely wanted to take a couple more days here. So we asked them how much it would be for a couple more days, and they gave us a great rate, $50 a night for this room.
so we decided last night we would pay for last night and tonight.
Yeah, we
and
might
maybe one more night. I think we might do 3 nights.
now
so
we're just spoiling ourselves.
now we're spoiling
But
ourselves.
we definitely wanted to stay the weekend because on Thursday the harvest ended, and then we had the 2 days to get out. And
the
then
weather.
the weather was so nice. It came to like the 70 degrees, and we were able to go down to the water and things like that. So we definitely wanted to do that before we left Port Austin. So we decided to
take
this
advantage
weekend
of
also.
it here, right?
So we're paying for this weekend in this hotel, but we don't mind because they gave us a great rate because this is their off season.
Basically, and the lady was like, "You've been here for 2.5 weeks, and the company has been taking care of that." So
Yeah.
she was like, "I don't have to clean the room, and you guys have been so good to be here." So we haven't had any issues.
Yeah.
There's like I said, there's a grocery store right here, laundromats within walking distance.
Yes, and the grocery store is a pretty unique place too because it's kind of expensive. There's a Dollar General about 5 minutes up the road. You could go there and get a lot of things for half price than this grocery store. But this grocery store does have a lot of seafood items because they have connections with like the fishermen and what was it, Port Bay?
Yeah, I think we're so
I'm not gonna
horrible with
say
the
because
names
I'm
here.
not sure about, but they get it from a local fisherman around here.
Steph
so-
got this last night. I think after the live stream, we're gonna be cooking some dinner
Yeah,
in
this
the
is
van.
pub style crab cakes. Look how delicious that looks. I'm gonna fry these up in a frying pan. And then this is bacon lobster mac and cheese. We're just spoiling
We're
ourselves
spoiling
now.
ourselves, but we've been eating out a little bit, but not a
$12. I
whole
didn't
bunch.
find that too bad.
No, we haven't been eating out too much. We've been basically we haven't had time to eat. We would get off work, come back to the hotel, take a shower, go to bed
Yes,
at
and Ruth Ann,
1:32 in the morning.
When we talked to Ruth Ann in Minnesota, when we went going through the hiring process, she told us like you want to get clothes from the thrift store. You definitely want to do that because you want to get nice winter gear that you could get dirty and not care about. So you definitely want to go through to the thrift store. And then another good thing that she told us is like you're gonna want to get soup. If you're thinking about doing this beet harvest, get soup for lunch because you're working out in the cold and just something easy to warm up. They usually have a microwave there. You can warm it up in the microwave, and then something hot, and then like we kind of went with the Campbell's soup because Campbell's is a little bit thicker and heartier. So like definitely
Whatever you're into, but just
if
be
you're
able to
thinking
heat it up,
about
yeah.
working these jobs around this time, definitely want to think about soup or chili for lunch.
Because after you will get at least one good break. We always seem to get at least a 15-20 minute break, a half an hour to 40-minute break, and another 20-minute break in the evening on a 12-hour shift minimum, even if the trucks were really running big time. We got other breaks depending on how busy we were. So certain days we would work a little harder, and other days we would work a little bit less, and it all kind of balances out, guys. But we did wear. We bought a lot of thrift store stuff, but Margie, I showed you these overalls here. Margie, one of the ladies that was on the crew with us, she had these. Her daughter bought these for her, and they were too big, and she was warm. So one day, I was up in the operator booth, operating up there, and it's a lot windier up there. A lot of people think, oh, I want to be the operator, but the operator is a lot of responsibility, number one, and you basically have everyone's life in your hands down there. And number two, it's a lot colder being up in the air with nothing to block you. So I was freezing up there. It was like 20 degrees. I was freezing. So Margie said, you want my overalls? You want to wear them? And I said, at first I said no. And she was like, yes, you do. And so she went and got them for me, and I put them on, and I was nice and warm up there. And even over my ski pants and my other pants. So I had like 4 layers on. And she was like, just keep them till the end of the season. And the next morning we were going to get up and go to, there's a sporting good place here that sells those type of overalls, and purchase a pair. And I was just going to come in the next day and hand them back to her and be like, I bought me a pair, I know what I needed to do, I get it, it's cold, I need to buy this. So, but she told me her daughter could get her another pair. So she quoted me $45. And
that's the same price because her daughter works with like the company that she's getting them from, so
right.
She's getting them for $45. And so when Margie told us $45, she wasn't taxing anything on it.
So when we stopped at the ATM, I got $60 out of the bank and gave Margie $60.
Like, thank you, lunch is on us.
We were gonna, like I said, we were gonna stop at the sporting goods store in the morning and drive from Port Austin to Bad Axe and buy a pair, but we got called into work early. So we were there, we went straight to work. And when she told me that, I just went the next day and got her money, and I really like them. They're nice and warm and cozy, but it's just one more thing to pack in the van, guys. But
Danny G, he did say time to throw a huge party. Actually, there was a nice bowling alley, and it was like you're driving on the street, here's the bowling alley. It was a barn bowling alley, and then you turn down this street, and here's the piling station. So we're literally looking at this restaurant all day. And it kind of looks like a dinky little place, rough around the edges from the outside. So we're kind of spreading the word, like,
we went there a couple of nights.
Yeah, we went there a couple of times.
After work, we would stop. Right before work, we would stop and have lunch.
Some of the locals told us, like, they have a daily special, and they have really good burgers, and the cook's in there, and she's really good. So we went in there, and we realized that she's cooking these, like, almost homemade meals every day. Like, we went in there for lunch a couple of times, and we had lasagna, and you get a salad and bread, and then we went in there one day, and it was like meatloaf, toast
and salad and everything.
Yeah,
all
green
for like
beans, baked potatoes.
So super cheap.
So it was a really great place to go, and then it was a bar. So we decided once the harvest was over that we'd go there, and it was actually so funny because the last day you're just cleaning. And so we came in late, but it was still early. It was like 8 a.m., so 7:45, you're getting there.
Most of the time we were getting there at 5:45 when we went to the day shift.
Right, so you're getting there and we're cleaning. Well, because we've been doing so much pre-cleaning through the season, it didn't take us till noon. It took us 4 hours to do the rest of all the cleaning that we had to do for the season. So it came to a point where the foreman was like, does anybody want to stay here and ride the clock till 4 o'clock because we were supposed to work 8 till 4?
And find stuff to do.
Or does everybody want to clock out and go have lunch together at Biff's? And that's what the bowling place is called, which I thought was a unique name, Biff, Biff's. And so we all went over there and we had food and drinks, and there was pool tables and music, so we all had a great time. So we were able to party at the end of the season, and somebody did ask, like, what is next for us. After this, we kind of made plans with a good family friend of mine. You guys might have remembered we went to
down the
river
right.
with Mike it was Mike's birthday. So Mike is actually a mechanic, not this Mike, a family friend. His name is also named Mike, which I could see where that could be confusing. And I'm trying to make it sound good because I know Mary's driving and listening in the car, so.
Trying to let her put it together, right?
Yeah, exactly. So our mechanic friend Mike, we talked to him. He lives in Indiana. We're up here in Michigan, so Mike lives in Indiana. We told him
near Gary, Indiana,
right,
that area.
We told him, look, there's nothing really wrong with the van.
No.
But it just hit 100,000 miles when we got here, so it's like 100,000, like 400 miles right now. So we just want him to look over it, tell us if we need anything, and now we got the money to, like, if we need a belt or whatever, definitely just change it out while we're there.
I'm really kind of thinking that I want to change out the fuel filter because I'll have to undo the refrigerator and kind of move the bed to get it, but I made a trap door. If you remember last year when we built out the van, rebuilt that out, I made a trap door for that. So I do want to change out the fuel filter. I'm also want to do, doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the belt, but I'm thinking I might as well switch out the belt. I want to do a radiator flush. The transmission on the Ram ProMaster City is a sealed 9-speed automatic and manual transmission. I don't know if Mike can do that, but I know at 100,000 miles it does not have a dipstick. It's completely sealed. I know at 100,000 miles you're supposed to change out that fluid. So I need that done so that the transmission fluid would be changed. Also, change out the oil, of course, and maybe put me in some kind of system to make it easier to change the oil because of the skid plate. Do a little research on that with some valves and tubes that we can put in and make it easier to drain the oil without having to take the skid plate off every time. So
yeah,
that's something we want to do. So that's on the agenda. I'm not sure what else the van might need. We did brakes, about a year and a half ago on the front, but maybe the back brakes need to be done.
And as crazy as it sounds, it seems like we just did that, but I know that it has been a year.
And that's the thing. And we did spark plugs about a year ago at Bob and Wanda's at their place in Olympia, which, it was amazing to do a whole tune-up there. We did spark plugs and oil change and all of that stuff there. So I don't know if I need new spark plugs. If I do, we'll change those out. We'll do a full tune-up on the van. I'm not sure what else I need to do at 100,000 miles, but I'm sure Mike does, and he'll let us know, and we'll get it done on the van. And that way we're good to go. And after that, we are heading south.
Yes,
so
to warmer weather. I think all of us work campers were like, at the end of harvest, we are out of here.
We need some warm weather, especially for us making this our second season, doing 2.5 weeks and then taking about 4 days to get here and doing another 2.5 weeks.
James B did say, sorry I'm late, where are you guys now? We are in Port Austin, Michigan, which is on Lake Huron, and it's like in the thumb of Michigan, so kind of tell you where we're at.
Right, and the beet harvest is over, we're done, we've done our second season now, and I think it was a great experience. We've made some really good money towards being able to put aside a little bit of a emergency blanket, I guess, or a fund, I guess you could say. We're going to be able to see if there's anything wrong with the van and get anything fixed with it that needs to be done. Like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong. We just got new tires and everything, but you never ever can tell what might need to be done. As little as it might be or as big as it might be, let's just get it done and put some money away because of the 2 harvests with both of us working. Kind of put a little bit of money in the bank, and like we were saying, we're gonna use that money. I know we haven't been making a lot of YouTube videos, and I have a bunch of videos, and I don't know what I'm gonna create and what I'm not, and if I'm just gonna move forward from where we leave here or how I'm gonna do this, but
Right, because when we do these updated videos, we understand that we confuse a lot of a lot of our viewers.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason why we would pick up videotaping from here in like Port Austin and then continue on our trip, like when we go and see Mike and fix the van and.
Because we did a lot of stuff in Breckenridge and and everything, and the trip coming to the first beet harvest. I have video of the last beet harvest that I want to show you guys, of the campground and of the experience in general. So there's a lot to show and a lot to do. So we're gonna get back to making videos. I feel like we've taken a vacation from YouTube, but it definitely wasn't a vacation from working. 75-hour weeks, working 7 days a week.
Right.
For the 2.5 weeks in Minnesota, and I think together we clocked 200 hours each in 2.5 weeks up there,
Right.
and almost 200 hours here in Michigan for the second harvest each. So that's a lot of hours and an about 5 week stretch, so 6 week stretch. But I think we want to do it again.
Yeah.
I enjoyed ourselves, Stephanie was a operator and kind of led her whole little crew. They split us both up now that this was our second season. We volunteered to kind of be split up. And
it was really good actually for us to come here to Michigan because it was their first season, and we actually just came from Minnesota, where Minnesota has been doing this for I don't know how long, but multiple years. And so we're working with people who were working that job for 8 years or more. Right. So
we got a lot of experience.
We got a lot of really good experience. So when we came over here to Michigan, we kind of moved up the ladder really quickly.
Most of the people, it was their first year. Everyone on the crew was their first year.
Right. So we kind of were leading the ground crew in the we started as a ground crew, and then we kind of started as leading in the ground crew, and then we started operating, and then the next thing you know, they're telling Mike that he should be a foreman next year. So it was really good for us to come here to Michigan, because it was their first year. They had not as many work campers as they thought. So we were able to move up the ladder really quickly, whereas Minnesota, it's a little harder because there's a lot of locals, like I said, that's been working that job for 8 years. And they want to be that operator. So it's hard to get to be an operator, or there's so many foremans because so many people have work experience. So there it's kind of a nice flowing river, nice operation, industrial. So they have a lot of their people, they're set. So it's kind of hard to move up the ladder there. Whereas here in Michigan, because it's their first year, a lot of people didn't want to even know about it because it was their first year. We were able to move up really quickly, so that worked out for us.
Yeah, Steph at the end there for most of the harvest was operating. I would say the whole harvest. You were operating and running your own crew, and I was operating another machine and running the crew. So
we had a lot of fun too.
We had so many great people.
It was a lot of hard work, but
Absolutely.
We had, like Mike said, we had such a great crew. We all worked together. We all had personalities that bounced off of one another. We could all joke. We could all have fun, but we all got the job done. If there was something that needed to be shoveled or a sample that needed to be taken, it got done. And we didn't have, no slackers.
No slackers on any of the teams, which was basically all work campers, but a couple locals, and everyone there wanted to be there, and everyone there had a good attitude, and everybody there was willing to to learn and understand what was the best way and how to do it safely, and I think that meant a lot, is that everybody wanted to do it safely, and everybody wanted to make money and be there, and that was really a positive thing for everyone in my eyes, and that made it easy for us to want to go in there and work every day, 12, 13 hours, whatever they needed us to do. So, because that's why you're here, to make money. But we came back to the room every night, took a shower, and we went straight to bed. We'd get up in the morning. We would make us some breakfast, which was nice. There is not a microwave in the room, but in the lobby, which is open 24 hours a day, there's a microwave and hot coffee and a toaster oven.
Right.
And so we were able to just go over there and make some lunch when we were on the second shift.
I tried to make like a meal, like 6, 7 o'clock dinner time.
Yeah.
I tried to go in the van and make like we had pre-made pasta meals, and I tried to go in there and whip that up in the skillet.
We did have a half an hour, 45-minute lunch.
Right, exactly. That way, so that we had a nice hearty meal for dinner, and that way when we came home, it wasn't like we had to come home, make a meal, or like I'm staying home, but to the hotel room. We had to come to the hotel room, make a meal, and then get in the shower and then go to bed. So I tried to avoid that extra step at the end of the night there. If we could just make our lunch break, and I could actually make us a good hearty dinner.
It worked out really well.
Hold us to the next.
We kind of had the van, since we had the hotel room and the van. We kind of set the van up for being at work, to be able to cook a little dinner on our lunch break and that kind of stuff. So that was really, really nice to have the van and the room, and we would be willing to do this again like this without an issue. Of course, if we got a bigger rig, then we wouldn't need the room.
And
we would
that is kind of why we are doing the work camp, because we are thinking about getting a bigger van. But it's like when we get that bigger van, we want to have a nice down payment. And, like we're just kind of like looking right now, so we just want to have, time to look for that great deal. We're not jumping into it right away. Like, this is a turtle's pace for us. This is going to be a really slow process. We want to do like a couple more of these work campings, build up the savings account, buy that really nice rig.
I would like to be able to put at least half the money down.
Right now, it's like we're not even sure like what rig we want, because like for me, the ideal rig is an earth roamer. Well, that's $150,000.
We can't afford stuff like that. So, but we could build something like that.
Like work camp.
Exactly.
So it's just like. But we definitely want to build our own thing, because if you buy something, it's almost like fabricated, and it's almost like not as nice as you'd make it. You'd buy like better wood or buy better paint. Yeah, exactly. So we definitely, if we get something, we want to build it out. So it's like, do we want to get a van and build it out? Do we want to get a truck and build a truck topper on it? So there's like,
a lot to think about.
Yeah,
right?
Lots of different options. So we don't even know what kind of vehicle we're looking at. So that is definitely further plans. But we are starting to work camp for that future
goal. Like, I'm going to take 3/4 of this money and put it away, and the other 1/4 will go towards doing things as we travel, doing more things. Bubba Warbucks asked, how far was the hotel from the work site? About 10 minutes from Kendi. The site was the Mead site in Kendi, Michigan, and we were in we're staying here in Port Austin, and Bad Axe is kind of on the other side of Kendi. So a lot of times we would get up in the morning and we would have to be at work at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we would drive from Port Austin into Bad Axe, past the job site to get some lunch, then drive the 20 minutes back to Kendi and go to work for 12, 13 hours. But that's just part of working and work camping. And
then in Minnesota it was a half hour, so here it wasn't that bad, because it felt like 15 minutes we were there, where in Minnesota was twice as long as the drive. So it was like,
it is
instead
what
of
it
12
is.
and a half hours, you're working 13 and a half hours. So
Absolutely.
it is like a give with everything in life. There's a give and take in Minnesota. There's some advantages. In Michigan, there are some advantages. Everything's a give and take.
Wow. Excuse me. Did you want to talk about your shoes for a second? And then,
Yeah, we can definitely talk about the shoes.
well, guys, you know we love our Keens. These are Stephanie's. We bought her shoes in January of this year, and she's wore them as her sole shoes for up to the first beet harvest, and she wore these shoes at the first beet harvest. And then we came over here and we wore them at the second beet harvest, and we kind of just assumed we would have to buy new shoes.
Honestly, after the beet harvest in Minnesota, I didn't even wash them. I kind of
No.
just walked them in because the weather was so nice. The dirt kind of just fell
Fell
off of them. But this beet harvest, it was a little bit muddier here because we weren't on a cement slab. We were on a mud. So it did get a lot more muddy. And Mike actually one of the girls, Karen in Minnesota, she told us, soak your shoes and then the mud will kind of just come right off. So we did put them in a bucket. We soaked them in water for a little bit. And then the next day, Mike actually, put them underneath the heater that night so they kind of dried underneath the heater.
Bit.
And then the next day he took, was it Armor All?
Well, we had to go to the car wash, and
Yes.
we washed the van, of course, and
Oh,
there was
that's
mud all over the side of the van.
Huge step.
So yeah, you missed the whole step. And I had thought about it whenever I left Minnesota, when I did sprayed off the van, got all the mud off the van when we left there. I kind of hit my shoes with the hose from the car wash. Well, this time I went just kind of ham on Steph's and my shoes, and look, they look brand new again. So I'm really, really, really impressed. I'll show you mine, how well, and then I'd put some Armor All on them and kind of hit them. I'll have to do them again, but they really have taken a beating, and I think it's time for a new pair of Keens for the both of us. But I just wanted to show you guys, your shoes will take a good beating, but if you have a good pair of shoes, I think you'll be all right. And a lot of people buy thrift store shoes, but your feet are gonna pay for it if you're not used to the shoes that you're wearing. So.
Oh, absolutely. Even in Minnesota,
Right.
I was wearing those for a year, like Mike said, and I still got a blister on my toe because I just wasn't used to wearing them for 12 14 hours. I was laughing because Mary said my husband Mike is driving. There's so many Mikes. That's funny.
Also, basically, me and Steph just have our Keen shoes, and she has like a pair of sandals, and we have our shower shoes. That's the only shoes we have, except for our water shoes. We do have a pair of water shoes. But we wanted to be able to go to the store and stuff, and our shoes were just covered in mud and nastiness. So Steph in Minnesota, she talked us into it. We got these at the Dollar General.
They were actually 50% off, so they were only $5. So for $10, we got us both a new pair of shoes that we could go shopping in, or to a nice dinner,
or whatever,
or just like to get home and take the muddy shoes off and I have these nice shoes on.
Because the shoes, you really didn't want to wear them into the store. People, you'd leave a trail of mud as you
Bubble
walked.
Warbus asked if we were able to vote. Yes, we did our mail-in
Yes,
ballots.
we did our mail-in ballots, so we were able to vote. We did that early so that would all count.
Great shoes for $5. And that's
really,
what I'm saying. We kind of just we knew eventually we would clean up the Keens, and those are our everyday shoes. So it's like you don't want to go and spend $30 for shoes that you're gonna wear a little bit and then
toss them out. I mean, I kind of like these, but
and actually these cheap shoes nowadays are getting nicer.
Can I get it nicer and nicer? So that's just part of it. Any other questions?
How could you go wrong?
How could you go wrong, right? That's what I'm saying.
Armor All is a good idea. Mike said the Armor All. I was like, that is a great idea because it's leather cleaner.
Yeah.
And like if you buy leather cleaner, it's almost like you're buying a name brand, and it's so much more expensive just to buy leather cleaner than Armor All is like $5.
I hit it with after we cleaned the van, I got both of our shoes out and I hit them with the wand at the car wash, and I let them dry, and then after that I went over them with the Armor All, and I'm like I said, I was willing to just buy us, but these Kings are like $130 a pair,
absolutely.
so if I could save a couple $100 by not getting another pair of Kings for the two of us for a
Size
minute.
12, bring them, Dino says. You're hilarious. Thanks for the update. We could show them Sheldon and kind of like we'll like walk outside because the town lights are probably
on. The lights are on
and
now,
like
guys.
I said, this is the cutest little town, so we'll definitely walk you
Alright,
guys around a little bit. I have one question. When you guys ask locals for places to spend the night, do you sometimes get offered to use people's driveway? If so, do you accept the offer? Yes and yes, we do take the offer, but there has been times where we've denied the offer because, like, it's like kind of like your sixth sense when you're. Right. I'll stand
go
up.
Go for it. Yeah, there you go.
So when you're talking to somebody, you kind of like either collab or you don't. So like if we're talking to somebody and we collab and like we're like talking really great and the conversation's going really well and we like each other, and they offer us to stay or have dinner, and then we'll definitely take that up on that offer. But if Mike and I get any like kind of weird feeling or weird insinuation about something, life is too short. You just gotta jump on that. So like if we get anywhere, we'll definitely like deny it. But like I want to say there is probably 1 out of 10 times where we'll deny it. There are so many times where we say yes because like people, we talk to them or we'll meet them and they just sound so kind, or they've been watching the channel for like 2 years.
I can kind of tell if you've been watching I can kind of tell if you've been watching the channel. Yeah. You just know things that you wouldn't know over the last 5 years
to the channel that long. Like I told Mike, it's almost like we have a common interest. Like they're watching us because of something they like about us. So we definitely try to meet subscribers or anything. Even like
absolutely.
Just talking to you guys over like text messaging, we kind of like get a feel for you. So definitely we'll get that feel.
And if you're in the Michigan area and you're on the coming down out of Michigan and you'd like for us to stop and hang out, feel free to get a hold of us.
I know there's a lot of people in Indiana, so definitely let us know.
Yeah, definitely let us know. I'm going to flip the camera around.
Where is Sheldon?
Oh, all right. Well, this is the room.
Lots of space.
Lots of space. We have been so spoiled now. Tuesday will be 3 weeks if we stay here till Tuesday, which I'm sure we won't. But
we joke around that this right here is like, this bed is like the size of the van. What is this, like queen size bed?
Pretty much the size of this bed is the size of our van.
We have to work in the van. So right now we have 2 of our vans in here and so much room to walk around.
And
the Taj Mahal
basically every day we use the second bed to put all of our gear on.
Just come in. And like you see this.
Yeah, we had a little plastic thing, so that's something you might think about, is just having a plastic thing to put your work shoes on.
Right here, so when we open the door, we scooch it over, we take our shoes off, and then it would sit right there.
And we just take all that winter gear off, right.
Put it right there, and then go into the shower, and then this bed we slept in, and never had anything muddy or dirty on it.
Yeah, so. But it's a decent room, and everybody wants to see Sheldon, so where you at, buddy?
Oh, the water drained out a little bit.
He's scared. So Sheldon has been able to hang out in the bathtub.
And stretch and
float and swim.
And he's loved it in there.
So he's been enjoying himself in the bathtub.
He likes to hang out around the drain.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's why I put his little flower thing so he could stand up if he wanted. But he likes the drain. I think because it's like cold on his belly.
But we put some food in here for him, as you can see. And he's been able to hang out in the bathtub and swim while we're at work all the time. There he goes. Now he's swimming. But now he's going to do what Mom said, hang out right on the drain. Sometimes I think he knows what we're talking about. But decent little room with a window in the bathroom, a window here. Cutest little place here in town. We got our espresso maker, and we use this bin here that we have basically to put all of our dirty gear if we took it to work and needed extra dirty, extra stuff. So, all right, you gonna take them while I put my jacket on?
Yeah. We have a nice place to hang up our jackets. Right. We put our...
All of our work gear is already put up in the top boxes. Yeah. We have the vacuum seal bags, the vacuum magic bags. So we put all of that stuff up top in those up boxes. And we kept all of our good North Face and...
That's our little refrigerator too. With our dishes.
But I got my coveralls out. She's still got her North Face good snow pants. But we put all the other snow stuff up. So, all right, let's head outside. Cute little room, like I said.
You guys got to see this town. Look how cute this is. We'll go this way first. Take you guys to the end of the porch here so you kind of see the town. You know it's at night. So let's see if it'll focus. Yeah. So look at that old building right there. That is the bank. It says 1884. Mike and I actually got off work one night and went in there for dinner, and we have pictures and stuff. We'll probably add that into the work camping video. But on their menu, they had on the back of it their history. So we kind of learned that this was the very, well, it wasn't the first building here, but it was the first fireproof building, because back in the day they had a lot of problems with buildings burning down. So this was the first fireproof building, and they kept all the important documents here that you would need to like run the town, besides just the money and things like that. So I found that very interesting. And then actually, you can't tell, but the blue building, there we go, I'll hide the lights for a little bit. That blue building, that's the fire station. And actually, was it last night? All 3 fire trucks came running down the street because something here in town was on fire.
Yes, Jan says, look at all the traffic.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a pretty sleepy town.
As soon as you say something, we get one car, right? Truck. And then this right here in front of you, it says party store right there. It says party store. You can't really tell because it's blurry. That's a little party store. We haven't really been in there. And then this.
Walk down that way.
You know what? If we will definitely try to walk you down the street. Hopefully, it won't disconnect. But this is the cutest little town. And look at this bank building. Like, since 1884, this has been here, and it's always been a bank. So I thought that was so interesting. Well, now it's not a bank, it's a restaurant, so I should say.
We're able to park on this side over here.
There's the Vanny van.
Right.
Oh, Lister was across the street. Oh. Now, like, I want to say 70% of this town is closed. So there's a lot of it we see, but like, for instance, this is an art gallery, I believe. This is closed. But this is interesting. This is a statue right here, and it's got locks on it. And, you know, people just engrave their names and the year, and they lock it on there. So we have an extra lock. We'll probably lock it on there.
So we can come back next year and...
Yeah, and then look at these. These are tiny little, like, sheds. And there were tables out here the other day, and it's like little coffee shop and ice cream shop and little different shops right there. And in the summer, that's all going. I thought that was the cutest little thing over there, too. We might have to come back in the summer one day and check that out. That seems... And this is a summer destination. Port Austin, Michigan is a summer destination. They say it's booming here in the summer, and right now it's the winter, so a lot of this stuff is closed, like I said.
Here's the real estate office if you want to buy housing here, if you just fell in love with this town because it's so cute here in the fall. I mean, this is the little grocery store where we got the pub crab cakes and the lobster mac and cheese. It's so cute. It's got pumpkins and fall flowers outside of it. Such a cute little town. Like you could see right in the windows. There's the... Some of the locals aren't like the friendliest here, but
Most of them are nice.
it's alright. It's still a cute town.
We had lunch here. This is really nice.
Yeah, this place is really friendly. I don't know if it was a couple working in there, but it was a couple of people working in here. And it's just a really cute, like, almost old diner. You got the bar back there, and that's where you eat. And they make all the food right there in the restaurant. They kind of got, you know, a little gift shop up front. So we really enjoyed that. That was yesterday. We were able to stop in there for the first time. There's our hotel, the Lakeside Motor Lodge. There we go. So cute. This is a happening little spot. There are always cars here. It's like a pizza bar joint. So we haven't made it in there. But next to it, this little building right here, that's Austin's Tavern. Great pizza. Like Mike and I got pizza twice from there because it's really good pizza. Like ingredients are fresh. It's just like loaded with cheese. Delicious. Christmas already.
Pretty much. Should we walk them back?
Yeah, why not? Or did you want to walk them down to the water real quick?
I don't know if you can see anything.
Yeah, you might not be. I mean,
Maybe you can. I'm not sure.
this is the Port Austin State Harbor. I don't know what a state harbor means, but interesting enough. And then you got your little condominiums here. Cute. Oh, wow. Someone was here 2 days ago.
Oh, wow.
I know.
We were
right?
here.
We were here. You probably passed us right up. So we're walking up to the sign right here. Yeah, you can't really see anything because it's really, really dark. Because right now you would see the water, but that abyss out there is Lake Huron, and the sign with the light over it that you can't really see. It says Port Austin State Harbor right there, but it's really dark out here, so you guys can't see the water. But the lake is right there, and it is nice that we could see that from the hotel, and like you seen.
I would say it's hold on, I'll look. 60 degrees.
And it is 60 degrees right now, and a little wind breeze, but you got to remember we're right here on the water. But it's 60 degrees and it's a little windy, but it's actually nice, a very nice night for a little walk right now. So I'm so glad we're walking you guys around the town, because this is a cute little strip we're on. I guess we should have walked them on the other side, but that's alright.
Yeah, it's been nice just being able to go to the water right before work. Check out the water.
I was gonna say, let's see if I could do this nonchalantly. There's people in the bar you could see. Like I said, that place got really great pizza. This place we haven't checked out yet, but there's always people here. Seems like the younger crowd goes here, so if you're trying to avoid that, definitely go to the place next door. Lake Street Local Food and Spirits. This is the happening joint in town, I guess you could say. And we could always see it from our room, so we get plenty of entertainment. And this is the motor lodge right here. And the motor lodge that we're staying at actually has these cabins too. And these cabins are super nice. They're like tiny little apartments. You got your own bathroom, your own bedroom, your own little living room, your own little kitchen in there. Super, super nice. And here's a little sand pit for, like, I guess this is for more like for retired people. So this is for your grandchildren. They can come play in the sand pit. I want to bring them over this way. I was kind of hoping they had more lights around here, but I guess not. So this is the fire pit area. You can't really tell because there's no fire going, but it's really nice. Oh, there you go, Mike. And it's got benches. It's got brickwork. It's got benches all around. They even leave wood out here, and they have marshmallow sticks. We actually bought stuff for doing s'mores, but we just never made it out here yet.
Some wood over here to burn.
All right. Do we want to see if this little one's open? No. Earlier that one was open. But they're just the cutest little cabins, and I mean, it's really nice here. We have no complaints. Down here on the bottom, you have your own little picnic table and your own little grill. There's a big heated pool here, usually in the summer. And that's the cute little town, guys. And this is our motor lodge room. We'll go up the stairs and you can see everything. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Because I think that's all we have to say.
Pretty much. We'll get off here when we get inside.
The camper is ready for you, too, Dina says. Oh, gee, look at those small houses. Those are small houses. And I'm not going to say how much I think they are because I don't know, so I shouldn't give you wrong estimates. Right. So I won't say anything. But I guess we will turn this around. And we will say our goodbyes. Thank you.
76 people on here. Wow.
Thank you guys so much for checking in on us. I know it's been a while. I'm so sorry to leave you hanging. Like Mike said, just working 12, 14-hour shifts. It was just hard to do both things, so we definitely kind of set YouTube aside. But now we'll kind of be going back to our regular schedule, and we really appreciate you guys hanging in there.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. Please like,
comment,
and subscribe.
Check us out on Patreon and Instagram.
Hit the bell for more notifications.
And we'll see you in the next one.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for staying tuned, guys. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much.
All right. Hit the little X, I guess.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a great night.